All right, I've got to weigh in on this whole New Jersey drone situation because as a Philadelphia resident that flies drones every day for fun and for work, I've been getting nonstop calls, texts, emails, direct messages. Even my own family is reaching out to me wondering what is going on in the skies of New Jersey. Now, for reference, in case you don't know who I am or if you haven't seen any of my work online, maybe you've just clicked on this video because you're interested in the weird drone sightings above New Jersey and you want more information. Well, hi, my name is Billy Kyle and I've been an aerial photographer and videographer for over 8 years. Now, as I mentioned, I do this for fun. So when I'm traveling, I bring my drone with me and I capture the views of the areas I visit from the air. Of course, I share these on my YouTube channel, my other social media platforms like Instagram and X, but this is also something I do every day for work. So I primarily work with real estate agents as well as construction companies to document the projects that they're working on, creating digital marketing to help them move their business forward. You know, I feel like the real reason I'm even making this video is so that in the future, when I get messages from friends, family, or maybe somebody random on the internet that wants to know what's going on with these weird drones above New Jersey, I can copy and paste the link to this video and send it to them instead of having to type out this whole long message about my thoughts and feelings. So let's take it from the top. I think it was November 12th was the first report of these weird lights at nighttime that people said were drones flying above New Jersey that were unidentifiable. Now, just to give you some reference, what most people fly, whether they're a consumer flyer, a hobbyist, or if they're a commercial drone flyer, is this drone right here. This is a Mavic 3 Pro, and most drones resemble this same form factor. Now, this drone specifically has 4 total LEDs on it, so 4 total lights. It's got 2 head LEDs and 2 rear LEDs that help you determine the orientation at nighttime and determine the status of the drone. So they'll blink depending on what flight mode you're in, depending on what the battery is at. So it blinks depending on the status of the drone, different colors. So me, as the person down on the ground, can look up and know what's going on with the drone at a quick glance. Now, I've also got a bright auxiliary LED built into the drone just under there that emits a really strong light downwards. So when the drone lands, it can see the ground and come to a soft landing. And then by FAA rules and regulations, I've got to fly with a strobe on the top of my drone that can be seen from 3 statute miles away. So this is for myself to be able to see the drone at nighttime, but for other manned aircraft up in the air. Now, notice how all of these drones have only been seen at nighttime because people look up into the sky, they see lights, and they think it's a weird object, a weird drone, and trust me, I have plenty of experience over the years flying my drone of the cops getting called, people confronting on me, people wanting to know if I'm spying on them. There has been so many things that have happened to me over the years that I really couldn't even count the amount of times. But think about it. They've only been seen at nighttime. And when you look at some of the videos that have been taken of these weird glowing lights, most of them are literally airplanes. Like the most common individual that has no knowledge about drones, aircraft, airspace, or anything would be able to look at these aircraft that people quote unquote think are drones and know that they're a commercial flight landing at one of the nearby airports. Now, here's how the cops being called on me for flying my drone illegally and the drones flying at nighttime with lights on them correlate. Now, let's imagine I'm out taking photos of a residential property for sale, of a construction site being worked on, or of the city skyline for fun to share on my social media. I can totally understand how a bystander seeing a drone flying would feel a little bit uneasy. Like they'd be like, okay, there's a drone hovering there. I don't know what it's doing. It's got a camera on it and it might be looking at me. So they might call the police. Now, again, this happens all of the time. I just go up to the police. I share my ID with them. I give them my FAA Part 07, which is my commercial drone license. I give them any information they need. I tell them exactly what I'm doing and it instantly diffuses the situation. But look, I can understand why this technology, because it's so new, can creep people out and can also be a little bit uneasy when somebody just sees this drone hovering there and wonders what is going on. Now, for those of you that stumbled across this video and might not know what the drone rules and regulations are, one of them is that you need to keep the drone within visual line of sight. So I can't fly it beyond what my own eyes can see, which means I'm usually pretty close to where the drone is flying, which makes it very easy to tell exactly who's flying it. But don't you think if somebody had a malicious intent and was flying with the drone, they would be blocks away, they'd be miles away, they'd be 2 neighborhoods over, flying the drone over so that they can stay concealed, so that they're not near the drone when it's flying, so nobody knows who it is that's actually flying the drone. It just makes sense. If I've got a malicious intent with the drone, I'm not going to stand directly underneath of it. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, this translates over to these drones flying at nighttime. Do you think that if they had any malicious intent, they'd be flying with their lights turned on? Don't you think that if it was these big custom drones that are coming from a foreign nation, that they would not include lights on them? Like, why would they have to try and comply with the FAA's regulations when they're here operating for nefarious reasons? It just totally doesn't make sense. Now, The real reason I want to make this video is because of comments made by Congressman Van Drew on a Fox News interview that he had. I'm not going to include that video here in this video because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I will leave a link down below if you want to check out the full 3-minute long interview, where he basically says that these drones flying over New Jersey are coming from a mothership off of the East Coast that is controlled by Iran, who are sending drones over the United States to collect data. Now, again, if these drones are here for nefarious reasons, why would they put lights on them to be seen at nighttime? They'd be operating incognito so that nobody can see them or detect them. Again, all of these sightings come at nighttime, and none of them come during the daytime. Now, probably the worst and most unhinged thing that Van Drew says in this interview, and I quote, "These drones should be shot down." It's appalling that somebody in this position of power would go onto a public platform and call for the shooting down of an aircraft that we know nothing about. They're kind of like trying to rile up the public. Somebody might take in their own hands and go out and say, yeah, I see these blinking lights, let me go shoot at it, when it is a federal offense that comes with hefty fines and jail time potentially, depending on the severity of the incident. Like if you're just shooting down a drone, it's probably not going to be that crazy, but you shoot at a commercial airliner. I mean, we don't know what these blinking lights are. They could be anything from a hobbyist drone, a commercial drone, some sort of American technology, a home-built drone, a manned small little aircraft, somebody flying a 2-seater just for fun, all the way up to a commercial airliner flying people from Dallas up here to Philadelphia. I mean, seriously, it's just absolutely appalling that somebody would go onto the news in this position of power and call for the shooting down of these lights in the sky when we know nothing about them. Now, let me give you a quick little tip here. Go to the App Store on your phone and download Flight Radar 24. This is now your eyes in the sky, as you can see all of the manned aircraft and their live location as well as their speed and altitude in the air in real time. This is an awesome app that I use just to see if there's any manned aircraft around me when I'm flying my drone. I also like to track people's flights as they're coming into town, so I know when to go pick them up from the airport. But if you're somebody out there at nighttime and you see lights up in the sky, and if you are just so convinced that it's some weird drone, please, I urge you to download this app, go and look at where the lights are, try to figure out where it could be on the map, point in that same direction, and figure out if it's some weird malicious drone or if it's just a manned aircraft that's got lights on so it doesn't crash with other manned aircraft in the air. So the big thing I'm worried about with this whole entire incident is the public's perception of drones. Trust me, I am not the coolest person on the block because I fly drones. In fact, some people probably think it's creepy that all I do is fly drones for fun and for work. Of course, they see all the photos and videos on my social media, on Instagram, and they're like, wow, that is awesome. But when I'm seen in public flying a drone, I just know people are like, look at that absolute weirdo, which is fine. Like, I have really no care in the world what people think of me, but I also don't want to be in a situation where anytime a drone is seen, there's always police showing up because people are afraid of them. It really just does take the drone industry down a peg when there's such widespread panic over the use of drones that people feel like they can't do anything about. Like when you take control away from somebody, they start to panic, and that's what it seems like is going on right now. These people have no idea what's going on, and they're going to read the news and just go with the absolute craziest thing that they see. Now, look, could there be drones in our airspace that we have no idea exist? Absolutely. Yes, these drones can go undetected. Could they be coming from a mothership off of the shore? Sure, they probably could, but I'm sure that we have technology in order to prevent things like this. So until we know exactly what these blinking lights are, I'm going to go with the logical thing and say that they're just commercial airliners or they're other planes flying through the sky, just trying to do their thing, do their work, do their job, have fun. And I don't think there's anybody that's doing anything malicious, because if they were, you probably wouldn't be able to see them. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.